Okay, so a lot of times when we have, tension or pain somewhere, a lot of times we just assume that that's where the issue is. But the reality is that it's as a result of an imbalance in your body. So usually that's actually the end product or like the end result of muscle dysfunction. So basically meaning that your mind and your muscles, some of those mind muscle connections just aren't really there. So like we sit on our butt and we just don't end up using our butt correctly because it just sits there. It doesn't have to do anything. And our brain remembers that. That's actually a repetitive exercise, even though we're not actually exercising. Our brain remembers from repetition. So a lot of times, like our core and our glutes just need to be woken up, and we just need to learn how to use them. Because sitting, you don't really need to use them, and then we slump forward, and then you get these adhesions and pain and all that. So to reverse that kind of requires a lot of different approaches, but a lot of times it means we got to strengthen our core, strengthen our glutes, and then we got to take care and love and foam roll and do some mobility stuff on the really tight issues. When you're a baby and you're learning how to move, your brain is learning things so fast, and you're trying to figure out how to move and how to get to your toy. And so your brain is looking where it needs to go, and it's telling your body what it needs to do, and you're learning how to use your core very, very early on, just rolling over and stuff like that. And then you get to your crawling and your seated half kneeling positions and all that. All of that happens before we stand, before we walk, before we do all that. So, but then, you think about when we start sitting when we're kids, and we just start sitting, 8 hours or more a day, years on end, our brain learns from that. So it learns just like it learns when we're a kid. So we can retrain our brain, we can relearn how to move properly. It just takes a little bit of work, and it feels like mentally exhausting in the beginning because it's like, I don't know how to do that. But just like a baby, a lot of times we have to relearn how to move before we can make any more progress in the gym that we really want to make, or if we want to get out of the pain injury cycle, or just, feel better. I have this one picture in my brain. Last week I was working out, listening to my Lecrae, doing my thing, but I kept looking over to the other guy who was doing deadlifts, and I was just like totally in pain because he's not hinging from his hips, he's using so much of his back, and he's lifting such heavy weight and with just horrible form, and the trainer in me is just like already hurting because I know that's an injury waiting to happen. And so it's like, but I was trying to just keep focused on what I was doing. But it happens a lot, and I've been there, where he just doesn't know. He just doesn't know how to use the right muscles. He's just trying to man it out. And he could lift a lot more if he just worked things out the right way. So I think the hardest thing for me is when I go to a gym now and I see people, say, doing the deadlift or something, and I see so much overuse of the back, and people keep adding on weight and picking up that heavy weight. They're continuing to overstrain the muscles that are already working so hard over time because the core isn't strong and the glutes aren't strong. But just think, if you could retrain all that and make it so strong, you could literally, who knows how far you could go when you really get back to that weightlifting plan and you really want to lift heavy again. It's awesome. It's a great feeling.
Mm-hmm.